Okay, we're gonna call the meeting to order at 6 o'clock. If we could all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Carol Golish.
Here.
Lindsay.
Here.
And John is absent. I'm here.
Okay, so we have quite a few resignations to go through. I guess we'll just start with the one that I have here on top, and we'll just go through them and go from there. Unless you want to start with John first, or something. Okay. The first one I have is Laura Payne, resigning from Chief Inspector of the Elections.
I make a motion to accept her resignation.
Okay, I second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, the next one is Linda Bennett, resigning from the election inspector. Do we have a motion?
I make a motion to accept her resignation.
Okay, I second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0.
You don't have Carol?
I do not.
Oh, sure. That's it. I'm
Oh, okay.
Carol Seberry resigned as treasurer.
Make a motion to accept Carol's resignation.
Second it. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0.
And then I have a resignation here from John Bennett, resigning his position as supervisor 1.
I make a motion to accept resignation.
I second it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. Okay.
Looks like we have a challenge ahead of us to fill these vacancies. I think that it's important that they all get filled as quickly as possible. Brenda, do you have any thoughts on how to fill the election worker positions?
Put it in the paper. It's hard to get election workers out as it is. I don't know if we run an ad in the paper or if we put stuff up around town that we're looking for election workers.
Yeah.
I have 3 names of people who are willing to work the elections.
Okay.
2 of them have worked them before, but they'll need updates on their books, whatever. And the other one is new.
Okay.
And then I have possibility of 2 others.
Can you share those names with me?
Hmm?
Can you share those names with me?
Yes. I'm not sharing the names of the 2 that are sitting on the fence, but
You can just read them.
oh, I would be willing to be an election monitor. Susan Porfilio,
Yeah,
she's been one
she
before.
told me that before.
Yeah, both of us have been it before. And Liz Henry is the 3rd one. She would be a new person.
Go ahead.
And also, Terry Johnson mentioned she'd like to be
Yes.
going back. She was an inspector before.
Okay.
She's familiar with this voting machine also.
Okay. You as
I'm willing to be
You
one
as well.
also.
Okay. thing, so.
If you need me, I can help out as well. I did it for Milwaukee a couple years ago when I lived over there.
So what do we have to do in terms of training?
I have to get them set up on their website. All the training's online now.
And is there separate training for like the inspector?
The chief inspector has to have a lot more training than just the poll workers.
Oh, okay.
Do you
And I
need-
know that, I do know that Terry talked about doing the inspector part of the training. And I
Yeah,
don't
I'm
know-
sure she's gotta start all over. I'm
Well, right, but she would do the additional stuff that has to be done. And I don't know if, Virginia, if you.
I
or any
haven't
of the
been
others-
there since pre-COVID, just, I didn't go the year COVID came out. And then Liz Henry has never had. And Susan Porfirio has been, but she hasn't been the last year and a half or so, no one's called her.
Okay, but for of that group, I'm hoping that we can have at least one more person be the inspector, because the inspector has to be here from first thing in the morning till the last thing at night, so it gets to be a long day.
Yes,
And I know in the past, they've done a split shift
yes.
to accommodate that. So I don't know what your thoughts are on some of this.
Laura liked to be here from dawn to dusk. She liked to have the whole, it's a lot more work if you split the shift. A lot more work record keeping wise. But that's why she just liked to work the whole thing.
Okay. So then you'll let these people know when the,
Yeah, I'll have to have
When
phone
the-
numbers or emails or something.
Maybe after the meeting, we can get phone numbers or
Mhm.
something like that.
so Virginia, you can provide that information?
I can give, yeah, I've got phone numbers for all.
Okay. And then Chris, you can just stay and listen.
Okay. The other thing that we need immediately is a treasurer, and I would agree to being the acting treasurer until we can go through a process to identify a treasurer and get them approved.
That would be easier for you, especially with elections.
So I don't know what Brenda and you think about that as an option.
I think with the elections coming up, I think that'd be a good option, because Brenda's gonna be pretty busy with the elections.
I don't know if you can. With only two people being here, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Well, but I think because we're filling a vacancy, you can vote on it too.
Nope, I can only vote if there's not a chairperson.
If there's what?
Not a chairperson.
Okay, I don't remember seeing that.
I read it today. The only time I can ever vote is if there is not a chairperson.
I'm not sure where you read that, because my understanding is you have to have three people, or three people can do the vote. And we have to do something. We have to actually do something to be able to pay the bills.
Well, I pay the bills.
Well, you go right, you have to have three people signing the checks. And I don't know how you can have three people signing the checks if we don't have a treasurer.
Can't the three of you sign checks and make a legal?
Yes.
A town supervisor can sign checks.
Yeah. So you and two supervisors.
Well, no, me, a chair, and a supervisor.
Chapter 60 says that it has to be a chair, a clerk, and a treasurer.
So why can't you be the acting treasurer? What's the problem?
I don't think it's politically correct to vote herself in as the acting treasurer, is all I'm saying, with only two people here.
You have to have something though, so whether you vote or not. I mean, I was
It's not on the agenda.
There's, okay, filling vacancies, is there something, I just gave you that opinion from the WTA. Because I thought there's something in there about, there are instances when the clerk is allowed to vote. When there is a town board member vacancy, the remaining supervisors and the town clerk vote together to appoint a replacement.
Yeah, that's the only time.
If the clerk, treasurer, or another town office is vacant, the town board appoints someone to fill the remainder of that term. Here, the clerk does not vote with the board. So if there are two of us on the board, we can appoint a acting treasurer.
No, it's not on the agenda, how can you act on it?
Filling vacancies is part of the resignation process. How are we going to function if we don't have a treasurer, we don't have another board
But
member?
it's not on the agenda.
It's
Oh,
part of the
yeah.
resignation process.
Resignation is part of it.
Filling the vacancies is a part of it.
Go ahead. State your name,
We
please.
assume that all of this is going to be on the minutes, and it'll be available on the website.
Well, the minutes,
Yes, I'm sorry, yes.
the minutes will be, it'll be in the minutes, but it won't be on the website immediately. Because the minutes come to the next meeting and then they're approved, and then they go out onto the website.
That's fine.
So
Once
it's-
you get to the website, then there are accurate minutes, it's good to go.
It's delayed, I mean, so it isn't immediate. But we do have to do something to be able to pay the bills.
So you could appoint a treasurer?
The board can, yes.
So what do you need, a motion to,
Volunteer?
I volunteer to be the acting treasurer until we can appoint a permanent.
I think you should just, I don't think you should do a motion in a second with you voting yourself in as to be the acting treasurer. I think you should just appoint her to be acting treasurer for now.
Okay. I appoint Carol Gold to be the acting treasurer. Until we can get that position filled.
And part of the filling of that position, we do not have to, we have to find someone that's gonna be a treasurer, but it does not have to be put into the paper. It may be nice to do it, but we should probably at least post something on the website that says we have these vacancies. And post something about having the board position, because this is all new to us. No, I don't know if anybody knew it was gonna happen, but we have to figure out how we're gonna come up with a new supervisor.
So if someone qualified comes forward, you as chairman could appoint them
I think that has to be done by the board.
by the board, but the
But-
board could,
But it has to be done by the board, and the board would consist of Lindsay and myself, and the clerk can then vote, so you have the three people.
No, I can only vote for a chairperson.
she
No,
can,
here, I'm reading, this is a legal opinion. When there is a town board member vacancy, the remaining supervisors and the town clerk vote together to appoint a replacement to fill the remainder of the elected term. Doesn't say anything about it, it has to be the chairperson. It can be
That's
any
what I
board.
read today, that I can only vote.
So where did you read it?
On the Wisconsin Town Association.
Well, this is from legal opinion from Attorney Ruth, Government Affairs Director for Wisconsin Towns Association. So I think we should, I guess it doesn't matter at the moment because we don't have nobody's agreed to be the town board supervisor, so we need to publish that on the website to say we need a town board supervisor. You're all out there, you all have friends, neighbors, somebody that might be interested in doing, they should contact Lindsay to say that they're interested in being a supervisor,
Filling John's position?
to fill John's position. And if there's anybody in the room right now that would like to do it, speak up.
It's not on the agenda.
I'll do it temporarily.
Keith Vandervelde will fill John's position temporarily until we find.
It is not on the agenda.
Are you appointing him?
Yeah,
Can you even do
yeah.
Resignation.
I think we have to, it says here,
You should have
When
it on
there's-
the agenda.
when
it? Call
there
another
is,
meeting?
please would you listen, when there is a town board member vacancy, the remaining supervisors and the town clerk vote together to appoint a replacement to fill the remainder of the elected term. So I would, you say that we should, I make a motion to appoint Keith as the temporary supervisor.
I'll second that motion.
I'm not voting. I'm not voting.
Any
Okay.
discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? Motion passes 2-0. You gotta help us get Keith. Because I'm sure this is for him and stuff like that. Okay.
I still say the public needs to be informed and it's not on the agenda and you're acting on things that aren't on the agenda.
You're out of line.
The assumption is that you have vacancies, resignations, you have vacancies, you have to figure out how to fill it out. I think that's all part of the process, and I think that's understood.
Okay, so you're gonna do treasurer, Keith will take John's, and then the electors, you're gonna go through those
We can't hear you.
and figure that out.
You have to speak up. I can't hear you.
What? I was just like making sure we had everything down, that you were gonna take the treasurers and then Keith will take John's position. And then Brenda will reach out to the electors.
And the question is, for the vacancies, who's going to write up the notice that has to be put on the website? Oh, with the job description.
Okay.
All for treasurer?
Mm-hmm. Well, and we should have something describing what the supervisor does. Because you're doing yours temporary, right, until we get another supervisor, so both of those should be put up. And I think that the Towns Association, I know they have a description,
I was gonna say, they might have one out there for.
they have one here for the treasurer, and I think, pretty sure that they have a description that's similar to that for the supervisor. And the Towns Association, we are members of the Wisconsin Towns Association, and they have a handbook that they've published that has all kinds of, hundreds of pages of information on how officials should be operating in the town.
Well, thank you, Keith. Is that all we have then for like resignations? Okay. Okay, so I think we got the resignations filled and, or talked about and filled to the best of our ability as of right now.
I agree.
Okay,
You can speak up just a little, Lindsay.
yeah,
We
for
can't
sure,
hear.
for sure. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna go to is the bank signatures. In order to get our past chairperson off and anybody who has resigned off the bank, we have to have signed meeting minutes from a board meeting, from the people who are on the board. So, and they wouldn't tell me who was already on the bank account, so I think the best way to go about it is probably just to say, this is who's on the board, this is who can, you know, whoever can be on the bank account should be listed on there and then signed by the people of the board. Unless you were able to get a list of people that we need to remove or.
You gotta follow chapter 60 of the 3 people that can sign.
Correct.
Correct.
So we need to have the chairperson, the clerk, and treasurer.
Correct.
So I guess it's just that we have to talk
Do
about
we-
it and then.
Currently, do you know, do we have an administrator for the account, or is it just signature? Pardon me?
It was Sharon.
So we have to designate the administrator, and that would be,
The administrator is usually the chairperson, and then they add the other people onto the account.
okay. So you write up the minutes such that we can then take it to the bank?
Okay.
Do we need to have a motion?
From my understanding, it was just that the bank needed to know who was gonna be on it.
Right, but I'll make a motion that the chairperson, Baumann, is the administrator for the account, and the signatories on the account will then be the chairperson, Baumann, the clerk, Peterson, and treasurer, Carol Golish. At the time.
Temporarily, though, you're saying.
Yeah, it's a temporary, right?
Okay, I second
If,
that motion.
I'm just gonna word it that it will be, yeah.
Okay, I second that motion. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Okay, so
Is
next,
there a time frame, Brenda, for how?
I'll get them typed up right away. I
Okay,
don't
now-
know if they have to be approved at another meeting to take to the bank. That I did not.
No, it shouldn't, tonight should be fine. The question I have is, are we gonna all have to go together at the same time to the
No,
bank?
they can go in whenever. They get it all ready and then you can go through the drive-through and sign
okay,
Okay,
it. I mean, you don't have to go through the drive-through, you're able to go through the drive-through if you want.
What bank is it?
National Exchange.
Yeah.
Okay.
okay, the next thing on the agenda is town property. So we have to get town property back from our prior chairperson. So we have a list of things that was thought of that we should ask for back. The attorney helped type something up. So I guess I'm just looking to see if anything else should be added or removed or anything like that.
Just for information of people here, what's on this list that's gonna be sent out is keys to the town facilities and town equipment, like the buildings, records, and storage area, documentation concerning the town website, including website host, password, contact information, documentation concerning the chairperson email address, including username and password, and this is what we call rack space, to say, okay, how do we get that changed? Because right now, everything that goes to the chair will go to Sharon, and we need to have that changed. Transfer all of the email account to allow for proper delivery and preservation of these public records. All other town mail and email that in your possession, materials in your possession for training or educational programs paid with town funds, any town files, records, papers, minutes, or other documents in your possession, more generally all property and things in your possession from your service as town chair. Wi-Fi password and information regarding the Wi-Fi, bulletin board keys at Thal Acres and Tall Pines, the fire department building passcode and key, and then the WTA officials handbook. That's specific because we were told that she didn't have anything to turn over. But so this is a list that we've created, that things that I know about that she should have.
Any pagers or radios?
Pardon me?
Any pagers or radios?
I don't know that she has any. I've never seen her using any. I don't know, and I think that the computer that she would use would be her own personal, because I think we only have 2 computers, the clerk has one and the treasurer has one.
Why is all this stuff being kept at her house? Why, don't we have an office here?
No, we do not.
Maybe that's something
Well,
that should be,
There is some stuff that is kept here, because in the storage building back here, I do know that there's a whole lot of files. But we also know that she had a container that she carried things back and forth, things that she was working on. So if there's anything that's pending, that should be turned over to the,
that's
to the-
reasonable. But a lot of that other stuff sounds like it should be in an office here on premises.
well, some of it is, but the keys aren't. I mean, the password information, that kind of stuff. Because we couldn't find it. And that's like the whole thing with we have a code on the fire department door. It's a key punch, and we can't seem to find any documentation on that code.
My husband gave her documentation.
Sure, and what it says here is, the book and key and wrenching code should be in the town hall cabinet. Where is that?
And if she can do it herself, she would save the town citizens money.
Well,
It's not hard to do it yourself, if you can follow directions.
Charlene,
we would like to do it ourselves, but we need the information.
Permission, you want me to look for it? Are you that helpless? You want me to look for it?
No, I want you to leave the meeting.
Let's not be insulting here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let
we'll
people
go right to
insult.
ignorance right away. We
Charlene.
can't find the information, that's what we're trying
Did
to
you
find.
look for it?
Did we,
Yes.
why do we have to call names? Why do we have to go to helpless? Why do you have to be that
Charlene.
way?
Charlene, yes, we did look for it, and we could not find it. So we were gonna ask
Would you like
John,
me to look?
we were gonna ask John if he would find it for us.
If you could help us look after the meeting, that would be great.
Okay.
Thank you,
Okay.
I appreciate it. Yeah, we were gonna ask John to help us, because it was vague on what he had mentioned.
Well, Sharon went through everything and filed it.
She did a good job.
She did.
She did. I saw some, it was very good.
It was she sorted and she's got everything organized for you.
Okay, well, perfect, I appreciate that.
And then there was
You
a lot-
wouldn't
there was a
believe
lot
the
of-
mess it was.
There was a lot of time there.
Oh, yes,
Absolutely.
24/7.
Yeah. There was a lot of time involved in sorting it out.
So, Carol, was there anything else that you think needs to be added?
No, I think that that's a fairly
Okay,
inclusive list.
okay. Okay, then I'll have him send this over then.
I make a motion that we adjourn.
I second it. Discussion, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Motion passes, meeting adjourned at 6:28.